Your small intestine is 20 feet long but coiled up into a space the size of a basketball. And if you spread all the folds flat, it would cover a tennis court. Except that's wrong, and the reason it's wrong is pretty wild. Ancient Egyptians believed the intestines held the soul and that we thought with our hearts. They'd remove the intestines during the mummification and put them in special jars called canopic jars, protected by the god Senuif, because they figured you'd need them in the afterlife. Meanwhile, the heart stayed in the body because that's where they thought intelligence lived. The small intestine evolved 500 million years ago in an early fish and protofish. It's one of the oldest organs ever evolved, but it might actually be one of the oldest organisms. The very first predators were proteins underneath the ones making energy from sunlight, and they just started absorbing nutrients from the ones above them. That eventually became what we use as an alimentary canal today. Mammals took that 500 million year old role model and made it big, made it longer, because when you eat lots of strange things, you need room to digest and absorb nutrients. A shorter alimentary canal means you have to eat more food faster all the time because you don't have time to absorb the nutrients. Food spends about 4 hours traveling through your small intestine. The thing has its own nervous system with its own way of controlling everything. It moves food faster or slower through the system all on its own, speeds up and slows down its processes independent of the brain. It'll continue to digest food as long as it has fat stores to fuel it and fresh nutrients that the heart brings it. It works independent of your brain, except that it talks to your brain through the vagus nerve, which is sensitive to emotions. That's why emotions can make you hungry or nauseous. About 5 million Americans suffer from irritable bowel syndrome, and it makes you wonder if that's specific to the Americas or if that's everywhere there's a McDonald's. A guy named Galen tried to put a medical book together in 200 AD, but it was illegal to dissect humans back then. So he dissected cows and pigs and other animals and tried to extrapolate their organs into human bodies. His studies were considered gospel, and from 200 AD until about 1500 AD, when they finally decided that it was legal to dissect cadavers, everything they knew was completely wrong because animal organs aren't similar at all. They'd come up with the measurement of how big the small intestine would be if you spread out its folds using math based upon information Galen provided. But then somebody recently did their doctoral thesis on how big it would actually be, and it turns out it's not the size of a tennis court. It's half the size of a badminton court. I have no idea how big a badminton court is. About 4,000 people have had small intestine transplants, but it's very specialized because the intestine has its own immune system. They have about a 75% success rate if you make it past 5 years, but it's only like a 20% success rate to make it to the 5-year mark in the first place.